Welcome back to Yes Users Podcast Season 2, the show where we explore the intersection of technology, user behavior, and marketing. I'm your host, Avinash Tripathi, and today we are kicking off the new season with the Powerhouse episode. Today, we are diving into marketing, psychology, AI, and the evolving world of performance driven marketing. And to help us unravel all this, we have someone who lives and breathes these topics every single day, author and strategist, and the co founder of Marastu and Perfozi, Vikas Jain. If you are a marketer, a founder, or just someone obsessed with how growth really works in 2026, you are in the right place. So, guys, welcome Vikas Jain. Vikas, welcome to Yes Users Podcast. How are you feeling today?
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Actually, I'm excited for this conversation, especially because we are discussing three things I absolutely love. One is the marketers, second is behavior, and third is performance. So I'm glad to have you.
Yeah, we are also glad that you are here. I hope our listeners get a value packed episode. Let's start with your origin story. So, Vikas, for our listeners, tell us a little bit about your journey. Who is Vikas Jain in reality?
Sure. So Vikas Jain comes from a small town of Agar Malwa. I come from a pure performance background, sales, marketing, and growth. I spent more than 18 years helping businesses across India, US, UK, Dubai, Australia, and Europe with their sales and marketing needs with predictable systems as well. Today, if you talk about what I do today, I run two companies. One is Marastu. Marastu is basically focused on SEO, AEO, paid media, and majorly focusing on lead generation ecosystems. While I own another company that is Perfozi, which is solving a different problem of the market. That is how companies hire skilled marketers uh, with accountability. That I think is the biggest problem. We'll come to it later. But yeah, that is where Parfodi is focusing on. Along the way, even authored 6 books on marketing and sales and built a complete sales mastery course because I always believe knowledge compounds. That's all about it.
Well said. And at Get Saito, we also really believe in founders should be investing time and efforts in writing books and creating courses. That's one of our USPs. So really happy to see that you also align with that. But a lot of time people ask me, especially founders who are so busy, that is there an ROI? Right? Can you give me a tangible ROI for writing books or creating courses? So, what is your experience after, authoring 6 books and creating so many courses?
If I honestly tell you the answer, I haven't done that for ROI or to earn anything out of that entire thing. It was basically for people who wants to, for the upcoming youth who wants to get into marketing and sales, who want to learn from someone who has done it practically. And I basically wanted to do it for branding.
Yeah.
So yes, it's difficult to get ROI, but it's not that difficult even if you have, good tactics, marketing tactics around that. If you really give value, then I think ROI is not a problem. People should understand what exactly you are offering. If your books are valuable, if you have good reviews, you have good marketing tactics, I think rest is just out.
Yeah, well said, sir. And see, that's the typical scene when you are running a venture. You don't expect to make money from the book itself or the courses itself. But when I was referring to a tangible ROI, like have you feel the difference that if you wouldn't have written these many books, you wouldn't have authored these courses, would marketing be more difficult for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you jot down your experiences, your practical experiences and strategies that worked for you in past, you know, note it down on a paper. You get a lot of new ideas as well, and you apply those strategies to your current projects. So I think it's a good exercise to recall your old strategies. and apply them with the new tactics that are in the current market.
Well said, sir. I couldn't agree more. I know even I have created some courses, and I completely agree with your experience that, when you try to explain some stuff to another third person, you get a lot more clarity yourself. As no,
Yeah.
for example, like, when we're talking about doing certain thing, it is just in our head. When we put it down in a piece of paper, it definitely gives us a lot more clarity. So that's another benefit of writing books and creating courses for founders. So well said. Now let's move on to the global markets in the marketing. So what is your prediction for what is going to happen in 2025 and 2026 in the field of marketing?
Yeah, sure. So we all know that the world has moved from marketing volumes to marketing precision now. I personally think three fundamental shifts would happen. AI is definitely compressing execution time dramatically. Now, you can do things very fast. Number two is now buyers are more informed. I mean, before talking to a sales reps or, you know, uh, before actually connecting it with your website, buyers do their homework well. They are well informed. 70 to 80% of buyers research well before they take any final decision. Thirdly, I mean, business today want accountability, not agencies. So I think nowadays with AI, if things are fast, knowledge is not a problem. I think now what is lacking is accountabilities. You know, agencies needs to be more accountable. Um, they should understand um, the revenue goals of the business, and they should definitely cooperate and definitely should be able to achieve those goals. And that's how the things will shape in 2026.
Well said, sir. So you mentioned about AI. How do you think AI is going to change the marketing field?
I think AI is not the future, it's the present. But actually, AI will not replace marketers. AI will definitely replace marketers who don't use AI. So nowadays, one thing is very clear that everything you talk about now could be easily. The knowledge is not a problem. You get a lot of. You can just get all the knowledge with one prompt. You can get your design work easy. Content is nowadays at your fingertips. So marketers are getting a lot of help and understanding along with AI. So creative cycles are shrinking by 80%, in my opinion. Execution is becoming cheap, but what's going to be there and what's more important, that is strategy, understanding the psychology and how you are using the AI. So your competitive edge is not the tool, it's how you think, how you strategize. So more important is the strategy. If you have a well defined strategy, I think execution these days is not a big problem, though perfect execution is always there. You need to execute it well. But if you have a good strategy, I don't think that's you're going to face any problem into 2026.
Very interesting observation. So your model at Perfozi is quite unique, performance driven hiring, I believe, right? So tell us what makes Perfozi unique and different from all other agencies.
So the only difference I would say, if you ask me in one word, is accountability. So no other agency, or even if you talk about freelancers, they charge flat fees, monthly fees, but no one is accountable enough. If let's say if you hire someone for performance marketing, they'll set up the campaigns for you, they'll do a lot of stuff, but no guarantee, no predictability, and no guarantee that you will achieve your results. So no one is accountable for your loss or your failures. I think that was the gap where we started Perfozi, because most of the companies hire freelancers thinking they'll save money, but they forget one thing, that there is no accountability. So flip the model. At Perfozi, talent is rated, talent is trained on weekly basis, talent is measured on KPIs, talent is guided by senior performance leaders, and the company pays only for outcomes, not ours. So we charge for outcomes, not ours, but we pay definitely for the ours to our employees. But that's the difference. That's the flip side. That our philosophy is very simple. Don't hire people, high performance. And that's what we tell our partner agencies, that you'll get performance from Perfozi. Performance guaranteed.
Right.
Yep.
Very interesting. So you mentioned about the KPIs, right? So what are the KPIs that you measure?
So it all depends upon which type of marketer you are hiring. If you are hiring performance marketer, CAC, ROS, lead to opportunity conversion, funnel velocity, and if you are talking about SEO, organic visibility and traffic, revenue contribution, definitely that's going to be there for all the marketing things, be it SEO, be it performance marketing, be it social, uh, and the retention impact. These are the few examples of KPIs. We decide KPIs mutually with the client, our partner. So we mutually decide the KPIs and we stick to those KPIs. Everything is trackable these days when you build the right systems.
Very interesting. And you mentioned about SEO, and this is a conversation that we keep on having with other digital marketing agencies as well. When they talk about organic marketing, search engine optimization, or even social media marketing, there is a delay of 3 to 6 months at least. So, what is your KPIs, or what in your opinion the KPIs should be during those periods where you are burning the midnight oil, but the results is gonna take some time?
So what we do is we break everything into frameworks, Anand. So if SEO is going to take time, then we break that time period and we actually track the performance. That are we moving towards the set goal? And if we are moving towards the right direction, then we don't tweak the strategy in performances. And if we are lacking somewhere, we keep on improvising the strategy. So, if it's going to take 6 months, it's going to take 6 months, right? But if you're moving in the right direction, you'll start seeing some results. So we define that milestones first. And if the first milestone is achieved, then we move to the second milestone. And this is how we track that SEO performance and the performance which are going to take some time by, dividing it into milestones of it. I think that's a better approach.
Yeah,
Yep.
well said, sir. So let me ask an interesting question. What is the number one mistake businesses make when they are, hiring marketing talent?
So basically, I mean, people, hire based on the number of years of experience that person have. They don't buy or hire the knowledge that the person will doing on table. They hire the number of years he or she have been doing into market, right? So I think talents should be weighted on the based of their outcomes and their strategies, not just because they have spent a lot of years in execution. They must be able to come out with out of box thinking and someone who is always eager to learn new things. I think that's a great sign when you really want to find a good talent and someone who is aspiring for a good position. Let's say, many people or talent comes to me and say that I want to be a manager. I want to, in 2 years or 3 years down the line, I want a team under me whom I can train. Now, this is a aspiration, and if you get such people who are aspiring to be a leader, then you should give them that opportunity and train them in that particular way. So I think the aspiration is important, the strategy and outcome mindset is important before you hire them, not just hire them based on the number of years.
Yeah, that's a very interesting observation. I couldn't agree more with you. And what is your opinion on this type of mistakes when companies are doing a global hiring rather than local hiring or somebody from their own jurisdiction?
Hmm. So even if you are doing global hiring, I mean, global hiring will one thing will come in picture, that is a remote working environment. So things would change drastically if you work from office or if we work from remote, right? Remote working have its own, you know, de- definitely pros and cons everywhere have it. So if you are working remotely, then you need to have tools, systems in place where you can work effectively and effective utilization of time and resources. So I think you need to be utilizing more tools when working remotely. should also give some time for some personal conversations, out of work conversations with your employees, so that they can feel like how we do in office. So that's the more important, important thing that you should keep in mind.
Very interesting, sir. So, coming back to the books that you have written, I believe you have written 6 books, right? So, what
Yeah.
drives you to write so much?
I mean, it's my passion. I have been writing since my childhood. When I was in class fifth or sixth, I started writing something. Jotting down something on paper. I won't say it was good, but yeah, I started there. I write simple things. Because why about marketing? Because and sales? Because unnecessary marketing and sales have been made complicated. Okay, so I try to make them simple. People fear from sales. I see a lot of people saying to me and asking me, I don't want a sales position, I don't want targets. So I tell them it's not that difficult. You should not fear. So if you break down things, if you know the framework, if you learn case studies, so you'll find it out or figure it out your own way of achieving, the desired results. So there is nothing to fear, and that's why I'm writing it in a very simple way so that people can understand what is, marketing and sales. Not the way that has been portrayed so far, but the way which practically what we do.
And I believe you are building a sales course too, right?
Yeah, it's up and running, by the way.
Okay, that's nice. Which platform have you launched this course? I believe our listeners would be happy to know that.
So I launched it on Graphy,
Okay.
yeah, for LMS, and I launched it there.
Okay, that's very interesting. So tell us what's next for Vikas Jain.
It's a very difficult question. First of all, I would be focusing on mainly three things or four things currently, which are there on the top of my head. One is I wanted to scale Perfozi globally. I want to take that Perfozi's philosophy to the world. Again, build Marastu in the way it is being structured and take it. I want to take it further from here. Also, I want to launch a couple of good courses, but it all depends on the bandwidth that I will be getting in 2026. But yeah, if you ask me my mission, then definitely to scale Perfozi globally and to scale Marastu is something that I will be doing in 2026.
Wow. Best of luck for that. And finally, one message you would like any young marketer who's listening to this podcast should definitely adhere to.
Yeah, sure. So I think the most importantly is marketing is all about human psychology. You need to understand humans and their psychology well. Even if you master AI, for marketers, it's very important. You should not shy away from tools. Learn tools, whatever you get to learn, but also study their behavior. A lot of analysis needs to be done, but in the right way. You should track KPIs because, you know, it's going forward, everything will be based on performance. So track KPIs, but don't just shy away from outcomes or failures. They'll come for sure. You need to keep on learning things. If you think, communicate. If you can think, that's more important. Then communicate and execute. You will never struggle in level. Whatever is working for you, communicate to other people as a case
Yes.
study or anything. How you can communicate, it all depends on you. But tell to others that this is working for me. You'll get a lot of ideas from them as
Well said. And sometimes marketers get into that mind frame where they're like, okay, this technique I have discovered, why should I share it with the world? And, then what USP would I have when the clients come? So, what will you say to those people?
Before digital age, knowledge was difficult. In digital age, it wasn't. And currently, we are sitting in AI age. So now everything is open. With one prompt, you can get a lot of strategies, even a lot of case studies, even. So I think if something is working, that doesn't mean you should keep it with you. I think if something is working for you in a one particular situation, you need to have a second opinion because you'll get a lot of new ideas and new perspectives to it so that you can apply with those improvisations. in new verticals or for new clients. So I think the learning should be always there. If you think you have cracked something, then probably you should share it with others. They'll give you new perspectives too. So keep sharing. That's what.
Well said. Well said. I couldn't agree more with you, Vikas. So, brilliant insights, Vikas. Thanks a lot for joining us today on Yes Users podcast. And thanks a lot for sharing your story, the courses, the startups that you are working on.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks a lot to you. The pleasure is absolutely mine. Thanks for having me here and this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. And to everyone listening, if today's conversation sparked new ideas, challenged your assumptions, or gave you a new lens to look at growth and marketing, make sure you share this episode with someone who needs it. I'm your host, Avinash Tripathi, and we will be back next week with another conversation that helps you think sharper, build smarter, and perform better. Until then, stay curious, stay experimental, and yes, stay a yes user. See you in the next one.